Welcome back to the stage show. Kevin Van Ord back, and I'm very excited now because we've got Kelly, right?
That's
Kelly
right.
from That Game Company. See, I got something right. We're going to be taking a look at Journey. Now, I'm just going to say it right out. Journey was my game of the show last year at E3, my personal game of the show.
Wow,
very
thanks.
excited to be on stage to see Journey again. For those that don't know what Journey is, though, why don't you give us a quick rundown of what Journey is and what it means to you?
Yeah, so Journey is our third title for PlayStation Network. Our previous titles are Flow and Flower. And so players of those games may recognize the sense of, or remembering our quality of trying to create games that present unique experiences in the video game marketplace. With Journey, we knew we wanted to do an online experience. And so in approaching how we could take those lessons learned from Flow and Flower and take them to the online experience, we really thought about focusing on that unique connection you can have with another player in a virtual space. In Journey, you wake up in a desert environment and you're really presented with a mountaintop in front of you. That's the physical goal of the game, but the goal of the experience is to discover what's happened in this world, who you are, and what's happened here, and what your purpose is.
Tell us about this world. Tell us about how we move through the world and what surprises, perhaps, what sights we can expect to take in.
So, of course, in a desert environment, one of the key qualities you can see is the sand. We actually took a trip to Pismo Dunes towards the beginning of the project, and we're really inspired by just the feeling of walking through the sand and wanting to capture that in this world, and also in creating an experience that engages players and invites them into just being in this somewhat mysterious world. Another key quality of this world is cloth. You're made of cloth, and you can see as you approach these strands of cloth, what we call harmonize with them. They have a life force to them, and they allow you to jump, soar, and in some cases fly across the environment. And that notion of the cloth as life will evolve over the course of the game. You'll kind of see more evolved forms of it, and hopefully we'll get to see some of that later as well.
Now, your previous games, it's not always just about the way you interact with the game, but it's also been about, feeling like you're there. Music has been a really important part of Flow and Flower. How does music involve itself in the experience with Journey?
Yeah, so for Journey, we actually have the same composer that did the music for Flow, Austin Winery. And similarly, there's an interactive quality to the soundtrack, so it's evolving as you progress through the game, and also as you're playing with another person or not playing with another person. This game will also feature our first live recorded soundtrack, which really gives the music a very analog and organic quality to it.
Now, a lot of people wondering about the idea of value and the length of the game. Obviously, concerns even for a downloadable game like Journey. Now, how long would you expect the average person to take to get through the experience? And then once I'm done, are there reasons for me to return?
Well, for our games, we really want to be able to provide a deeply engaging and an emotional experience, but that could potentially be consumed within one play session. So for Journey, I expect if someone is going straight through to the mountaintop, that experience is going to be around 2.5 to 3 hours. But in Journey, there's room to explore and especially uncover the mysteries of this world. And so that can provide a longer play experience for those players that want to look around more. Of course, we're also hoping that that's a way we engage players over multiple playthroughs as well. But the focus in Journey as far as replayability is concerned, what I think is it's about creating a space that is an invitation to players to just be in, in a world that is interesting and dynamic, so that you just really kind of want to hang out there.
Now, you talked a little bit about multiplayer in the past. I'm curious, and a lot of people are curious, another person can come and join you in this world. How do you interact with each other? As far as I can tell, there's no dialogue, there's no actual spoken word here. How will you interact with other players, and how do they enter your world?
Well, we can actually show you. So
Yeah,
why don't we go ahead and cut over to another level where you're actually given the opportunity to connect with another person online.
That would be great. And I've been in Saudi Arabia, just kind of curious about finding out about what's happening here. Is everything happening in a wordless way? Are you coming across sights and sounds that move you forward, or do you come across very specific story elements?
A little bit of both. There are sections in each level where specific story elements are revealed through these etchings in stone. We wanted to, I think Journey communicates a more discrete story than Flower did, but at the same time we wanted to leave it open to interpretation as well as an opportunity for any type of player, no matter where they are in the world or how old they are, to hopefully get some personal meaning out of it.
Now obviously here we see another player, at least I'm assuming that, is that correct?
That's right, so that is someone out there online, and as you can see, there's no PlayStation Network ID, there's no in-game messaging system. You have this call or shout ability that the two players can use, as well as, of course, moving around in the world to communicate with each other.
Now, will there be puzzles that can only be solved with two people, or how, aside from just going through the world together, in what ways will you interact together?
Well, going back to that cloth is life, since you two are both made of cloth, you also have that quality where you can make each other lighter and you can traverse areas a little bit more easily. There are some spaces that you may not be able to get to unless you're traveling together, but we really wanted to have Journey be an experience that could be done alone or with another person, really totally leaving it up to the player as to whether they want to play together or not. You can choose to be competitive and kind of race through an environment. You can choose to work together, as in this case, to help get past key goals. But it's really up to the players themselves.
Now, aside from the other players that you might interact with, are there any other inhabitants in this world?
Well, you can see this is an example of what I was talking about earlier of some of these more evolved cloth creatures. And as you progress towards the mountaintop, that idea also continues to evolve, and you'll encounter some more complex and much larger creatures going forward.
Now, a lot of people wondering about DLC for some reasons. Are there plans once the game comes out to extend the experience? Obviously, people love a world, and they want to have as many reasons as they can to return to it. Are there any plans for anything like that?
Right now, we really focus on the initial experience itself, creating an initial Journey launch that is of real meaning and value to our players.
Now, when I play Flower, when I play Flow, I have a very specific sense of, I have a very specific emotional connection, a very, emotional response to those games that I may not get. What do you want people to feel when they play Journey?
Well, I would say one of the fundamental aspects or themes in Journey is feeling small and somewhat powerless in relationship to the world around you. I mean, we've literally taken away the player's arms even. They have no way of executing any sort of power over each other or the environment. Other than that, we like to leave it open to our players because we don't want to tell them how they're supposed to feel. We really want to just invite them into the experience and let us know what that experience means to them. That's what's really interesting about interactive design as a whole.
TJ in Wiley, Texas is curious about failure conditions. Can you die in Journey?
You cannot die in Journey. Sometimes when you're going on it on your own, it can be a bit more of a struggle. But yeah, we again definitely don't want to use some of those mechanics that are present in other games that I think are trying to tell you, don't do this, do this. We really just, again, I keep using the word invitation, but to me that's kind of the feeling of it, is just play how you want and let us know how it goes.
Now, here's an interesting question, which at first seems like, you know, maybe somebody's missing the point, but I think this is maybe an opportunity for you
Sure.
to kind of respond to somebody who maybe not be feeling it.
Right.
And that's coming from Melee in Amsterdam, who just wants to know, what's the point of this game? And how would you respond to somebody asking a question like that?
Well, I mean, certainly there's what we talked about at the beginning. You know, what do you do in Journey? You head towards the mountaintop, experience the world and the design of the experiences that we place in the world for you to have. Other than that, the point is, I don't know, kind of like life. What's the point?
Just to be. The point
Yeah.
is to be there, explore a world, and see what sights, sounds, and experiences might exist there that you can't get here.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly from a business perspective, we do aim to try and find that right price for the value of an experience that we're providing, so that it is something where anyone would be willing to check it out and just give it a try.
Kelly, Journey is coming when?
We don't have a release date yet, unfortunately, but towards the end of this year.
And it's PlayStation Network exclusive?
That's right. This will be our third title in our 3-game deal with Sony Santa Monica.
Thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing a lot more Journey as the time comes closer.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate you taking the time, and everyone who's watching for checking it out.
Absolutely. I guess we're going to go out to the show floor. I'm sure there's something incredibly exciting out there to see. Homer's going to fill us in. Take it away.